It's the big one. 5-ton leaf springs at the front. I had to get it from Finland, but they are an absolute nightmare to find. Really hard. That was £120 UK money. It was also £120 UK money shipping as well. Thanks, Finland. So we went for the Koni Sport Dampers 5-ton adjustable. I don't really think we're going to be adjusting them because I don't think we need to. We then had to go to Mercedes because I needed these. So got all the new rubbers, the end rubbers, the middle rubbers, the bottom rubbers. They had to come from Mercedes-Benz. First thing, I've got to get this thing up in the air on the axle stands, both wheels off, and I can go from there. Let's get it up in the air. I'll show you what I've got to do. That is the strut that we're going to replace in there. Now inside there, that is where the leaf spring sits. So we've got to dismount this. You've got to take this top plate off and remove the bottom plates that hold that leaf spring on. I'm going to be honest, I'm not looking forward to this. I'm really not. First of all, we'll get the damper. You can tell I'm not looking forward to this. I'm really just... We're going to knock this off. Just crack it off. You're waffling now here, just get on with it. I can only have a go. I can't get in to this with that there. So if I remove this and then I can just tie this up out the way somewhere, and then when I'm messing around it's not putting pressure on any of the pipes. Got them 2 bolts undone. That was an absolute nightmare. There's the bolts there. It did take a lot of set to. There are people watching me on Instagram right now that have just watched the whole meltdown because I couldn't get 2 nuts off. So now we've got them 2 nuts off, I've got to go inside and take this one off as well. Wonderful. Right, so the next thing we got to do is going to undo it from the top here. So I've got the Allen key in there, and I'm not going to undo the Allen key. I'm just going to put the ratchet in there and leave that to push onto the body of the van, and I'm going to use the spanner and basically undo the bolt, because I think that is an easier way. Right, so we got that undone from the top up there. That's all been undone. I've taken the top bolt out there. I have put a jack underneath there, so now I just need to undo this bottom bolt, which is there, push that through, and then this should come out. I'm saying it should come out. It will come out. It's just, where's this going to go? We'll soon see. Right, there's the bottom one out. I will be cleaning these before I put them back in as well. Get all that rust off them. There shouldn't be anything holding this in now. This should just drop out. Honestly, there's nothing on the top. Why are you being a knob? That should just come out. Right, let me go on the top and see if I can whack it. I honestly don't know what's holding this in place. I really don't. That is free everywhere. That should just come out. There she goes. Look at the state of that. Right, next job was to get this top plate off here, which wasn't the easiest because they were a little bit stiff, but we got them off. It's an 18 on the back, and then on the front it's a 16. Oh, Neil, come on. Just use the damn gun. Right, so 2 18s on the back, which are big boys. Right, so that's the carnage after we've undone everything. Got the top bracket off there, all the bolts in there, which will need a clean up before they go back in. There is the leaf spring there. So before I can do anything else, I've got to do the same to the other side. That needs doing before we can get the leaf spring out. So I'll go and tackle the other side on my own, because you don't need to watch that, and then I'll be back. Once we've done that, then we can go underneath and we can start undoing things from there. Right, so this side has been an absolute nightmare. I've broke them free, but the actual bolt is not coming off the nut. The whole thing is just spinning. I'll show you. So the whole nut and bolt are just spinning top and bottom. I've got 3 out of the back there. I've just got the one that goes under the damper, which is down there, which you can't get until the damper's out, but you need to get the damper off. Also, I managed to get one of the plates off that go underneath the chassis. They basically sit like that underneath the van, and that was a ridiculous amount of bolts, which are all there. But I've got one problem. The one on this side, every single bolt come out, one of them is rounded off. So I'm going to have to negotiate that, but there's nothing I can do until I can undo them 2 from there. That side's literally all done, all complete. The plate's off from underneath. You can see where that plate goes. It's meant to go literally across there underneath the bottom. That one is off, which frees up the actual beam, but nothing I can do until I can get those 2 off. Absolute bit of a nightmare. I'm going to go and release the one that's on the inside now, the main strut. I'm going to release that now and then just call it for a day, because I'm stuck now. I think Sean, who owns Scallon's Autos, he's going to bring a torch home so we can actually get the bolt heated up, get some heat on it, and then hopefully it frees that way. The one underneath that's rounded off, don't know what we're going to do with that yet. I'm going to get them 2 off. Definitely beat me today, that. Not the easiest of jobs. Not one I wanted to do on my own, but nothing you can do when there's just stuff doesn't want to come off, is there? So we'll get back at it in the morning, put the tools away, and go and have a shower. Well, it's now the next day. The driver's side was an absolute nightmare. Both sides are off, both sides are dropped. We've got the plates. There is 2 plates underneath the van, which are these 2, and they sit underneath. I'll show you them when we're putting them back on. They do have a rubber on them as well that basically sits in there. That's the old rubber. We have got new rubbers, which I'll show you in a minute. Also managed to get the leaf spring totally out as well. So there is the new leaf spring right there. That's going in. There is the new set of rubbers. They sit on your top, they go on your bottom plates, and these go on the ends, which just basically sit there like that for them to go into. Old ones are off there. The 2 old dampers are off there, and there is the old leaf spring. There doesn't really seem to be much difference in them, but one's black and one's green. So we've got to get that one in under there, which is not going to be a hard job, but brought the big guns in. Father's going to give me a hand. So, right, get that through, and then we'll put the rubbers in and mount it into place. So the beam is in there now. Bit of a pain in the ass to get in, I will say that much. Then you will have 2 of these rubbers that basically sit in there, just like that. So get one in, and then we can go around the other side and slide the other one in. Right, so we got those sat in. Then inside, right inside there, so right inside there, there is another 2 rubbers that will sit on top, and then the bottom plates have 2 rubbers on, and then they go underneath onto the chassis there, and then hold the bottom in. So there are your 2 top rubbers. There's 2 little holes in the chassis, the framework. Get them in, and then try and locate them holes. You will find them, just might take a little bit of a push and a shove. They are there somewhere, and then that sits on top in there like that. You might want to lower this side to give the actual spring more room on the top for when you lift it up. Right, so we got that rubber in there, that's now sitting. You might be able to see on the very top, that's where the it's sitting. You can see the 2 little nipples going up, so they're in, which is fine. They are now located, so we've got to do the other side, and then I can lift this up and that one will locate itself as well. Also, on the bottom plates that go in, you do have rubbers that go in there as well. They just sit in. So now these 2 plates can go back under the van and get bolted up. They are held up with a ridiculous amount of bolts. There's 10 in each, so let's get them up. And of course, we decided to piss down. Right, what have we got done? We've got the leaf spring in, the top plate on. We've got 1 shock in, caliper back on the wheel, and then now it's just a case of put the wheel back on here, give that disc a clean first, and then move around to the other side, set the camber on the other side, which was 10mm on this side, 10mm on the other side. Get the arm back up on there, get that tucked into there. Everything is tight, everything's done, so we just need to get that one back up there and go from there.
The bottom one will go in there.
Right, that's that one on. Let's get the caliper back on. Thank you. Thank you. It's done. It's all back together. Now, before I started this job, there was 3 inches from the bodywork, which is there, to the tyre. Now, that's before we done this. So there was 3 inches. There's now, I'd say 6.5. So we've gained 3-inch lift on the front. So we got 6.5 on the front, and the back is at 5.5. I can probably pump this back up. That just looks huge. The van looks massive. Not an easy job. Reasons for doing it are to get the vehicle up plated. We've done the back. Everything is 5 ton on the back, 5 ton leaf springs, the 5 ton dampers, and also airbags. The front, 5 ton leaf spring on the front, also 5 ton dampers. And when you consider these have been on since new, they've probably been over a few potholes, so good to get them changed. Also good to change the rubbers as well, because we don't, they look identical, but on these rubbers that come out, they are yellow. They have yellow dots on them. And we noticed on the other ones that went in, they've got green dots. So it must just be a different compound of rubber. That's all I can think. So that's it, it's done. I will now have to go take it to the garage and get the camber done on it, because even though I set it, don't forget the vehicle is raised. So you set it to normal, the vehicle raised, there's going to be a lean. So I'm going to go down there now, get the cambers done on it, so it's all working fine. She does look rather meaty. This is definitely not a job that you want to take on if you're not confident, and it really isn't. You'll probably tell by the beginning of the video that I was a little bit nervous because you are doing something really major to the vehicle. You're changing a lot of things, you're doing a lot of things that is going to affect the running of the vehicle, so you can quite easily mess things up. I'm quite confident that I've messed nothing up and I've only improved things, but I'll be honest with you as well, without having the actual gun, that job would have been impossible, like near on impossible, because there was some of them nuts that just weren't coming off. I didn't think they were going to come off. There was a few panicky moments, let's say that much, but it's done now. Nothing snapped. I did lose a bolt and I've just found the bolt. I did replace it with another bolt, but there we go, there is said bolt. Anyway, right, gonna go now, because I need to get clean, need to sort the inside of the van out, need to go and get the cambers done, like now.